Hello, everyone. My name is Samuel Ojo, and my presentation is going to be talking about the performance improvement plan for anti-money laundering, which we know as AML, and know your customer, which we also know as KYC control unit at JP Morgan Chase. And this presentation is going to basically focus on enhancing efficiency, compliance, and adaptability in this department. Thank you. First of all, I will be talking about the overview and the role of AML KYC unit in JP Morgan Chase. The first overview of AML KYC is to protect the financial system and ensure that there is regulatory compliance in the unit. The second part of this is going to make sure that they enhance the risk management and strengthens customer trust in the bank and in the unit. That does not stop them from also identifying risks that are related to money laundering, fraud, and other minor financial threats that could be a challenge to the unit. That leads us to the role, which I call the basic role of AML KYC control unit in JP Morgan Chase. The first thing that AML KYC unit wants to do is to perform what we call customer due diligence, which we call CDD, and make sure that all details being provided to them are verifiable. They are also saddled with the duty of monitoring and reporting suspicious activities. Part of the reporting documents are called suspicious account report, which we call SAR. They are also saddled with the responsibility of compliance with international and domestic laws. They will also from there look into risk assessment and mitigate risk where needed. At the end of it all, the department continues to train their employees in order for them to be adaptive to the new regulations in the financial industry. Of course, looking at the overview, that takes us that there's definitely challenges before we could even arrive at improving them. So therefore, part of the challenges that this department must have faced in the past or are currently facing is that there are increase and there's continuous complexity in financial crimes. May it money laundering schemes, may it sophisticated or non-sophisticated one. The regulatory dynamics also are part of the challenges that the units are facing. And they have to stay in compliance as they change drastically. Another one I want to talk about here is the inefficiency of the unit to process large data. Because the more they have growing customer trend, the more data they need to process. And they also they don't want to delay the process. At the same time, they want to identify potential threats. Those are challenges being faced. That leads us to the importance of this improvement plan. Why is it important for us to draw an improvement plan for AML KYC unit in JP Morgan Chase? The first importance and the significance of this improvement plan is to make sure that the unit are still staying in compliance with these rapid regulations to avoid penalties. The unit also want to increase customer trust. They want to reduce risk. They want to streamline their process and also automate if need be to reduce human error. They also want to make sure that this improvement plan is also want to make sure that there is interdepartmental collaboration and proper optimization of resources in terms of allocating them to be efficient. And at the end of it all, you want to detect and prevent financial crimes. This is why we embark on drawing up an improvement plan to achieve all these purposes. This leads us to the theoretical framework and why we chose open systems theory application in this specific unit. Yes, we've said it's the most suitable framework. How do we arrive at that after looking at the challenges being posed or facing this department? But when you look at the open system story itself, it states that dynamic external environment is very present in this unit. And if you look at the architectural drawing, it's an open system for this anti-money laundering department. There are a lot of changing laws around this environment. How do we do that? We have to be able to respond to the environment. And according to open system theory, it is important that we interact with our environment in this kind of unit. Followed by interconnectivity and dependency. Units must be able to communicate with each other and collaborate with each other. Their effort has to be combined and synchronized together in order to fight financial crime. So also, open system theories, you will see that there's connectivity between different departments that interfere or interface with each other or interact with each other. Feedback and control mechanism is also important. For AML KYC department unit, they require continuous feedback to improve their process and continuous assessment of their process, of their existing process. So also, feedback control in open systems theory is very important. A lot of scholars have mentioned it. Resources allocation is also very important, and that's why we chose open systems theory, because we have to be able to optimize our resources, to use them to full optimization in order to be efficient in whatever they do. Open systems theory supports that. Adaptation and evolution is very important. As we continue to improve our process, we want to also make sure that we develop new ways of doing things and adapt to new changes that are going on. Input and output model is very important. For every input, there's always going to be an output, and some people will make use of those outputs to also work in their department. So therefore, there has to be an input and there has to be an output model. At the end of it all, AML KYC unit in JP Morgan Chase is goal-oriented. Many scholars knows that a unit that does not have a specific purpose tends not to have anything to deliver or to give out. And that is why we promise that in AML KYC unit, there will be what we call an output, an outcome that can be lived with, a minimum viable product that can be said that this is what they achieved at the end of the year. So open system stories theory will address all these, supports all these, and the unit will continue to improve through the utilization or implementation of open systems theory in this unit. Going further, there are some key performance indicators or variables that could be used to measure how well the department or the unit is doing. The first of it all is effectiveness. How do we measure effectiveness? How are we going to do that? We're going to be able to do that on how early we respond to new changes in the regulatory environment. How much successful rate, risk assessment have we been able to complete within a specific timeline within change? Chase JP Morgan chains against the total number of assessment that is due within a time. So we need to be able to respond. How effective are we responding to those changes as they eat us in the financial industry? Because they will continue to be dynamic, ever changing. The next key performance indicator is efficiency. Efficiency sometimes can focus more on how resources are being utilized. Of course, we know that technical tools have taken over the world, but we still have to make use of them rightly. And that is why we have to look at the proportion at which we use our actual resources versus the expected resources that we need to use. That can be used to test the efficiency of the department. And over the years, JP Morgan have been able to use that quarter by quarter to measure their efficiency, moving here and there based on how they've used their resources. Quality is very also important. How do we measure quality? Quality in departments like this are being called checkpoints. What are those things that needs to be achieved in order for us to know that we are actually doing well in the department and we are improving? First of all, there's a benchmark that has been set in JP Morgan control unit that entails several controls and measures that needs to be met before standard performance can be measured. And of course, AI have taken over, like I said, but the vital role of AI is to actually enhance efficiency, and it also has its own challenges, such as bias algorithm, and sometimes there could be issue with tracking, because if you don't know how to use those tools. So quality is a checkpoint that needs to be addressed. Going further, productivity is very important. We can measure productivity using how have we been able to stop fraud, and also how have we each case handler been able to tackle fraud cases within a specific time. It's a wide way of testing productivity in this department. But one simple way we've used this is case handling efficiency. If we handle such case within period of time earlier than when it's expected, yes, that's productivity on its own. And each case has its own service level agreement. That is the end time. Productivity and budgetability is very important also. Is a key performance variable in AML KYC, and we can look at productivity through revenue versus expenditure in this department. How much we've spent on investing on these versus how much fraud we have been able to stop and retain or get back or detect and be able to call back. Budgetability also is also part of it. What have we spent versus what do we plan to spend this quarter versus what we eventually spend. Quality of life is also very important. That looks into employee satisfaction, motivation, how leadership structure, coordinating structure, and through pulse survey, JP Morgan Chase have been able to determine if control unit employees are really enjoying what they are doing. And also when it comes to mastery, how satisfied are they with this? Going further, innovation is a very key. It's also key in the performance variable. Tapping different laws and standards that could be beneficial to AML's unit, and how have we been able to creatively use them, can be used to measure performance variable in AML KYC unit of JP Morgan Chase. This leads us to the actual improvement plan in place after all this research has been done. The first of it is the advanced analytics and automations for AML KYC product. The only way we can improve is to make sure that we invest more in this, and transform the environment by improving the data accuracy and process in AML KYC unit. The significant impact of this is that we're going to have faster processing time. We are going to improve accuracy and increase compliance if this improvement plan is followed by investing in automation. The second improvement plan talks about the interdepartmental collaboration in AML KYC operation. The significant impact of this is that it's going to reduce redundancy within the unit. There's going to be faster navigation, and there will be more swift way of responding to regulatory standards and requirements. As they do this, as they communicate with different departments like compliance, risk, banking operations, information technology unit, the team would improve the discovery of financial threats and simplify data analytics. The third suggested improvement plan here is the alignment to AML KYC processing with regulatory requirements. As we have said, this is a dynamic environment. The only way we can do this is to continuously comply with the regulatory framework that is required of AML KYC unit. And we all advise that this should be incorporated into the existing internal process so that these laws and our compliance rate will increase, and we can avoid legal fines or penalties or reputational damages and increase customer trust. The next improvement plan that have been suggested here is the effect of continuous employee training. Yes, for every organization that continues to train and develop the skill of their employees, they have the opportunity to survive in their financial industry or the sector that they operate in. And the significant impact of this is that the employees will be able to adapt to new technologies and regulatory changes, thereby leading to their efficiency in tackling financial crime. The last but not the least of the improvement plan is the feedback loop mechanism. How do we apply that? If you look at the diagram here, it's an arrow that goes all the way and comes back, and there's an inner loop and an outer loop. The effect of this feedback loop on this department or business unit is that it's going to we are going to be able to regularly review and adjust internal processes based on performance data. And there will be collaboration with the external regulatory bodies to continue to align with these operations and also with the compliance requirements. Feedback is very important as advised in the open system story, and they will be able to identify and amend gaps through integration of this feedback loop system. Having said that, the key findings from this research on AML KYC business unit is that there's going to be there's an efficient gain as seen in the literature review. There will be more collaboration to sustain the department and across line by them embracing proactive changes or change management and also investing in technological tools. At the end of it all, there's going to be what we call employee adaptability. The moment they start training their employees, right, we notice that there will be what we call appropriate compliance. There are going to be regulatory updates that will boost the organizational ability to sustain AML KYC regulatory obligations in their environment. So efficiency gain, collaboration, and employee adaptability are the key findings of this research. As we proceed, we arrived at the recommendations to the department and JP Morgan as a whole. The recommendation is that the company should prioritize artificial intelligence and advanced analytics to improve efficiency. That means investment in technology. At the end of it, once you have this technology available, start implementing continuous training and development program for the employees. From there, there will be what we call cross-departmental collaboration in order for them to promote a collaborative culture for better communication and knowledge sharing. At the end of it all, there will be what we call faster decision making when this threat comes in. We also took a look at the long-term strategic outlook, which is a long-term prospect for this department. If there is proactive compliance, yes, the department will be able to navigate the dynamics of the environment. Continuous improvement also goes along with continuous development and training, investment, and also using all the strategies that they have to address the financial threats or financial crime. In the case of AML KYC unit in JP Morgan Chase, they can embrace multi-level learning strategy that entails analyzing and comparing their current procedures to guide against financial threats, or introduce new processes for operational excellence and regulatory compliance. In conclusion, the findings have suggested that open systems theory is the most suitable theory that we can use to improve efficiency, effectiveness, and operational excellence in AML KYC control unit of JP Morgan Chase. And if JP Morgan Chase wants to continue to survive in the financial market, they need to adapt to these changes as prescribed by the environment, the regulatory bodies. They also need to embrace proactive change management practice. They need to align with regulatory bodies and invest in technological tools to enhance their compliance, accuracy, and operational excellence. In addition, JP Morgan Chase should also introduce what we call, or embrace what we call, dual learning or double loop learning strategy, which entails reanalyzing their existing process to guide against financial threats and also change them when needed. And in conclusion, open systems theory is the best strategy which will give the department a longer term organizational growth in fighting financial crime in this kind of dynamic regulatory environment. Here are my references. Feel free to look at them. Thank you for listening. I will appreciate your question and feedback. Below is my contact information. Thank you.